Welcome back to the Form First podcast. You're joined by your hosts, Sam and Ben from Form First Studio in Thurberton, Adelaide. Episode 17. We're cranking along for 2026, which is really good. We've got some great topics today. Leading off with an important one for absolutely everyone, whether you're new or experienced, is how to get back on track after the Christmas and New Year's holidays. Yeah. Tough one.
Yep.
Going through it at the moment.
Yeah.
Going through it myself.
Yeah, I think most people had a little break over the Christmas, New Year period, which is completely fine. It's one time of the year. And it's not going to hinder your progress in the long run if you jump back on track straight away after the break. Where it can really put a dent in your progress is, you know, you enjoy the Christmas, New Year period, but then it turns into January, and then it turns into February, and then you haven't gotten back on track yet.
Yeah.
You're 2 months behind out of the 10 months of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big dent in progress.
I think as well, people, including myself, you think that December, January is when all the events are. It's not. February is going to have stuff. March is going to have stuff. It's sort of like wedding season for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of weddings coming up earlier in the year, later in the year. It all sort of counts, and they turn into big weekends as well. So just trying to foresee what's coming up, trying to and not so much go cold turkey when you get back into January, because that might just, get back at you in the long term. But just adding little step by little step. Like, for example, with me, the first thing I tried to get back on top of was coming back into the gym, creating that routine, and then maybe nutrition was my next goal, and then steps and those types of goals, and water and different things like that. So it doesn't have to be all at once, because that's really tough. That's really hard to do. And just give yourself the goal by a certain date. We were speaking about that last episode about your goals. You can turn that into a goal to start your year off with those, just one thing at a time, just tick it off and you'll keep tracking nicely.
Yeah, it can be a bit disheartening coming back into the gym after having a week or 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
One, you're out of routine and it's hard to get back into that routine. But number two, the strength loss, it goes back to the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that comes from a strength and muscle standpoint.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to note that muscle doesn't just fade away straight away. You would have to be on a very low protein diet, doing absolutely nothing for your muscle to waste away at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
But all those hard-earned gains, they do come back.
Yeah.
Muscle memory is a thing. So if you took 1 to 2 weeks off from the gym, you can probably expect another 1 to 2 weeks for your strength to come back.
Yeah.
So what I've been saying to clients as they're getting back into the gym is take a deload.
Yeah.
Reduce your load down by 20 to 30% of what you were doing previously, or like we spoke about, just do 2 working sets on everything.
Yeah.
Compared to 3 working sets.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That alone reduces your total working load down, and will work in a very similar way to what a deload would work anyway.
Yeah, precisely. And it's just baby steps, right? Like, if I was just talking to Sam before this episode about my legs, I did leg day on Saturday. It's Wednesday now, still 100% feeling the effects. And I took, about that 20%, 30% deload. Felt like, after the session, I was like, oh my God, how do I lift those weights?
Yeah.
When I'm in my prime. But yeah, it's just baby steps, like you said. Like, taking that deload is a baby step, gets you back into the rhythm. And the year is as long as you want it to be. Like, it is a long time. So if you can get there, if it takes you until the end of January to really get your rhythm back in, it's a mindset thing as well. Like, when you come into the gym and you're training close to failure, a lot of it is your muscle, but so much of it, as I've come to realize over the years, is your mind. And if you're a runner or whatever you might do, where you're doing long distance stuff or hard effort stuff, you'll realize what the mindset really is about.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Same goes with nutrition as well.
Oh, big time.
Easy way back into nutrition. So if you were following, a very strict meal plan before, and then over Christmas, New Year's, you just went completely off that, then going 110% back into the meal plan is probably not the best approach. So, easy way back into it. Do some meal prep again. Stop buying your lunches out, doing all that sort of stuff, or home cooked meals from mum and dad. Delicious, but obviously packed full of calories. So opt to get back into your meal timing and meals. And a big thing that I see with clients and myself is the reason that the structure goes with nutrition is because they're not working, right? What does work do? Well, you need to get up at a certain time to have your breakfast, to then go to work. Then you have your set morning tea time, or your lunchtime, afternoon tea, your dinner time, your set bedtime. Everything's structured, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be structured and prepared in those scenarios. When the holidays come around, that routine goes out the window. All of a sudden, you're going to bed at 12 p.m., you're getting up at 10 a.m., you're eating whenever, you're eating whatever.
Yeah.
So I think keeping as much structure as you can, if you are still on holidays, then try to get back to a normal bedtime, a normal wake time, normal meal times throughout the day, so that transition when you go back to work is going to be significantly easier.
Yeah, it won't feel like a slap in the face. Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, I think as I've gotten older, something that I've realized is that most of the time by the end of a holiday or a break, I'm pretty ready to sort of get back into a bit of a rhythm. It's still tough because a lot of the time I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at setting a routine as the end of my holidays comes up. I use it up. Like that's sort of my approach to it. And I'm learning as I go. I'm not trying to force different things on myself because I know it won't be sustainable. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing is you get to a certain stage of, especially if you've been in the gym and you've seen results and things like that. If we're just talking about the gym, you've seen results before you've went away, you're ready to get back into that habit because you can see, you get a bit of weight comes back, a bit of pudginess. You're like, God, I'm fat again, all this type of stuff. And yeah, you're just sort of ready to, all right, cool. Now it's time. I'm pretty keen to get back to feeling good.
Yeah, it's the feeling for me.
Yeah, it's feeling for me too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like said on this podcast before that I'm a hard gainer. Like typically when I go on holidays, I'll lose weight, which how amazing does that sound? You know, but the reality is like I work damn hard in trying to keep that weight on.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me is feeling good. My stomach isn't great. I've got IBS, so when I do go on holidays and enjoy some of these foods from different cultures.
You like barley.
Yeah. It's like, it's pretty tough. So, navigating that, and it just doesn't make you feel fantastic. Like it's very hard to prioritize your fruit and your veg and your protein intake while you're away. So, when I get back from holidays, I'm like dying to get my fruit, get my veg, my water, my protein intake up so that I can just start feeling better. I think the biggest thing that I struggle with is just the structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having structure.
Yeah, and it's a tough thing, like especially if you're going to go overseas and you're going to go to a completely different culture, you want to try all these different foods and all these different things. And by all means, you can have a day where you eat out, or you're probably going to eat out most of the time. But it's just about making the smart choices. Like if you have a big breakfast, maybe go for a smaller lunch, and then you can have a bigger dinner, whatever it might be. Be led by how you feel. Like you don't want to be feeling heavy and, fatigued and sluggish while you're on holiday because you're just, going for it, stuff in your face. And you'll realize that the more you sort of think about it and the more you're aware of it, you'll think about it more and be like, yeah, fuck, this feels pretty shit. Like I don't want to be on holiday. And a lot of the places we go to holiday is where the beach is. Yeah. So we don't want to be, eating some massive lunch and be like, all right, time to go swim or something like that. So just even trying to maintain somewhat of a structure, steps is a really good one to try and maintain while you're away.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yep. If anything, you've got more time when you're on holidays, when you're on break. Like the amount of clients that said to me, oh, I give them 10,000 steps for an example, and they're like, I did 15,000 every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's amazing. Like that means that you can enjoy some more food and potentially some drinks with some friends and family over the break, guilt-free, because your expenditure is significantly higher.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm an avid beer enjoyer. And I think an approach that I would probably take in the future, going away, would just give myself a bit of a barrier in terms of what time I should probably have beers from, rather than just from 10 a.m. walk into, the nearest convenience store or whatever it might be, wherever I am, and grab a beer. Because if there's a bigger beer or one I haven't tried or whatever, I'm going to grab it, give it a crack, get another one some way through. So setting a timer for stuff like that as well. And just being conscious of all that stuff.
Yep, absolutely. So in a nutshell, getting back into the swing of things post-Christmas, New Year, there is some practical applications there for you. At some stage, you are just going to have to rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah. Like as tough as it is, it's going to be a tough time to get that structure back, and it's going to suck for probably a week to 2 weeks. But then once you get through that initial phase, the muscle soreness has gone away, you're back into healthy eating routines, sleeping routines, you're going to start to feel significantly better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That actually leads us really well into the next topic, where coming to get a massage is a similar premise, where it sucks at the time. Yeah, it sucks. I'm not going to lie. 45 minutes, an hour, people are ready to get off the bed and go home and never see me again until 2 days later down the track, where they're feeling fantastic, training really well, just having more confidence to move and things like that. And then they're coming back to see me in 4 weeks, not because anything's come back, not because their issue is worse, whatever it might be, just because they see the value in it. Similar to ripping the Band-Aid off with getting back into the routine with eating, steps, training, anything like that. It sucks for that period of time, but after, you thank yourself. So we're going to talk about what massage can and can't do for you. We'll start with some things that it can and does do. For me, my approach to remedial massage is giving people the confidence to move, giving people the confidence to stay within their routine, to keep going back to the gym, or keep pursuing whatever physical hobby they have, and even making things like work more enjoyable for my office workers, my desk workers, landscapers, all you people who are bending over all day and slouching on a chair. If you've got an ache from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. every single day, then, work becomes even less motivating, and you definitely don't want to be going. So some things massage can do is help to release tone in your muscle. Now, this is temporary. Admittedly, this is temporary, which is not a bad thing by any stretch. It has a lot of value, and that's why you see remedial massage therapists at chiropractic studios, physio studios, all these different places, because it really helps to alter the tone in your muscle. And by tone, I mean tight muscle that's sore, restrictive, and things like that. On the opposite end of that, what it can't do is fix your habits. Outside of getting a massage, it's not going to do the mobility work for you. It's not going to lift the weights for you. It's not going to cook your food or count your calories or anything like that. So, there's a fine line between habits and, what you're actually able to do for yourself. Yeah.
It's kind of like having a coach, and you sign up to a coach and you get the nutrition plan, you get the training program, great. But then you don't do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly
it's
right.
It's just like, you go and get your massage, and then outside of that, you still keep the same habits. Yeah. You still don't stretch, you don't do your mobility, you don't do your rehab, and you're still training or doing the job that's maybe not great for your body, and then back to see you in another week or month's time.
Yeah, exactly
Never-ending
right.
cycle.
I don't want to see people weekly. Like that's too much of me and that's too much of you.
Yeah.
That type of thing. That's not part of massage unless they're an elite athlete who's training literally 6 days a week and they've got the money and the time and different stuff like that, then that makes sense. But that's a very rare occasion. And yeah, like you were saying, it's like I don't, if I tell someone they have to warm up properly, it's not because I'm trying to add value to the session. It's not because I feel like I haven't given them the full service. It's because they need to do that. And like we were saying in a previous episode, we need to find ways to enjoy going to the gym, warming up, doing our mobility work. And that just comes from results. That's where those first initial bits of enjoyment come from. Then, the further in, you might just enjoy the time in your own head, like where you just get to stretch out, release, and just feel really good. And once you start to see results from consistent massage and consistent mobility work and doing your home exercise, you'll just continue to do it. It just turns into a good habit. And that's, so it's just the benefit of massage. It really gets your mind in the right place when you go away. You're just like, oh my God, I see the value in it now. It's great that Ben's able to help me feel this way, but you'll realize you'll come back in 4 times in the same position, 4 weeks in the same position. You're like, oh, the effects, they lasted. It was really good, lasted for 2 weeks, but then it just came right back. And to those people, I say, look, same thing happens with the physio.
Yep.
If you go to the physio, you spend $130, right? And they give you things to do. Like they're not going to be there to literally move your body for you. So it doesn't matter who it is, chiropractor, remedial, whoever it is, that you're always going to get homework, or you should. And you have to do it. You reap what you sow. Hey, do you have any examples of things that, injuries you've been through or anything like that where either you've been consistent or inconsistent with your home exercise?
Yeah, for sure. Golfer's elbow. Initially when I had that flare up, admittedly went and saw a physio, and I probably wasn't as adherent as I should have been with my rehab. And then, I think we had a follow-up appointment 2 weeks later, and, went into the appointment and they kind of put you on the spot. So how's the rehab going? You're like, not great. And it's like, well, yeah, I can tell because your elbow's still fucked,
Yeah.
So, then there's not much they can do in that scenario. So that was like a 5-minute appointment. All right, well, we'll see you in another 2 weeks. Do your rehab, and then
thanks
walk
for your
out
money.
$120 lighter.
Yeah.
Went back in 2 weeks later. Long behold, did my rehab. Oh, it's feeling better.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, this actually works.
Yeah.
You know?
It's boring, right?
It is.
Doing that stuff.
The boring stuff works though.
Yeah. Doesn't it suck?
Yeah.
It's
really
so
does.
annoying.
So, yeah, I mean, luckily I haven't had many injuries like golfer's elbow, plantar fasciitis. It's all the same thing. Like, if you do your rehab from these health professionals that know what they're doing, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big thing, taking on board what they have to say, and don't try and lie to a physio. Don't try and lie to your health professional. It's like you said, it's super easy to tell because the range is going to be better. It's going to be worse depending on what your injury is. And they'll be like, oh, can you show me how, so good physios will, they have ways to figure it out.
It's funny because it's the same with coaching as well.
Yeah.
Someone's on a fat loss phase and they haven't lost any weight for, a prolonged period of time, say 2 weeks. And then I go like, what's going on? Oh, well, you sticking to the calories? You doing your training? Like, yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I've got a training app, I can see everything.
Yeah.
Like there's no hiding. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, number one, there's no meals logged.
Yeah.
There's no progress photos added.
Yeah.
There's no fasted weight check-ins, and you haven't completed any workouts.
Yeah.
And I can see that your steps have been 2,000 steps per day.
Yeah.
So tell me again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And even if they're entering that stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can tell if they're like
Yeah.
fibbing or anything like that.
It all syncs up with their, Apple Health or Android Health. Like there's literally no hiding from this stuff. So if you're not putting in the work, we know.
Yeah, precisely. Absolutely. Other things that massage can really help with, as I've mentioned before, altering the tone in muscles that are really taut, tight, bothersome and restrictive just helps to get you feeling freer, gets you feeling lighter. And the way to maintain that is to continue to move. It's to continue to, if I was to prescribe someone a spike ball, just every now and then, maybe before you work out. Now, spiky balls, foam rollers, all those types of things, massage guns, they fix nothing. They fix shit all. They calm your nervous system. They increase your blood flow. They sort of wake everything up a little bit and get you feeling good. But it comes from movement. It comes from exercise, rehab, all that boring type of stuff. You get out what you put in. If you're one of those people who can put up with not doing your, your rehab and you're just living in that frame of mind, then no one's going to be able to help you but you. And you're just going to get nagged and nagged and nagged. And to a certain point, I stopped nagging people.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just no point. It wrecks my head.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's out of that person's control.
Yeah.
And another really underrated thing it does as well is just improves blood flow, nutrient flow, all that type of stuff through those taut bands and muscle fibers. And then you can get, down the line with cupping, dry needling and all that type of stuff, which we can, it's another can of worms. So those are some of the things massage can do. Can you give me some examples of what you think massage can't do?
Yeah, for sure. I think some people use massage as a Band-Aid to put over the top of poor lifestyle and training habits and maybe even nutrition habits.
Yeah.
So like for an example, if someone's doing way too much work, maybe if they've got a 6-day per week weight training split, plus they're playing footy on the weekend, and they got 2 footy training sessions. They like to do a bit of group training, so they do some, F45 style HIIT-based classes, and they're also training for a half marathon too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're significantly underfueling. They're not eating enough. There's no periodization to their programming. They're sleeping 6 hours or minimum per night. And the one thing that I think is going to hold them together is going to get a massage.
Yeah.
Because it might make
a massage every 8 weeks.
Yeah. Might make them feel better in the short term. But the reality is it's not going to do too much because it's not going to fix all of those poor training and lifestyle habits that they've built.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll keep coming back to that point about habits, and there's a reason for it. Massage isn't for everybody. It can be really tough to get through. And I'm not saying that to undersell massage or undersell myself. Like, physio's not for everyone. Chiro's not for everyone. That's just part of allied health. Some people are like, physios don't do shit. And I work with a bunch of physios and I'm like, well, I don't agree. And then people are like, chiro's a miracle work, or I hate chiro, whatever it might be. Massage is the same, and I'm totally okay with that. And it's probably the same with PT. Like,
it's the same with coaching.
Having one-on-one PT just isn't for everyone.
For sure. Yeah.
And they'd rather go and do a class, whatever, calisthenics, whatever it is. There's lots of different alternative methods to healing and all that type of stuff. Another thing it can't do is massage is a bit more of a tool. It isn't a fix. I can't fix no one. No one but you, or potentially a surgeon, if you get to that point, can fix a structural issue. As much as someone tries to convince you they can, they can't. There is, realigning structure and realigning your posture takes time, and it takes effort, consistency, and all that type of stuff. So it is a tool to get better, to improve your range of motion temporarily so that your rehab or your training can be really effective.
So we're currently 14th of January 2026, which means that everyone's midway through their January with their New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Everyone's planned out their goals, hopefully. If you haven't yet, please refer back to episode 16 where we go over SMART goals.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going through cutting phases right now, but some people are also going through build phases. And there might be some people that are a little bit on the fence where they want to maybe do a little bit of cutting, do a little bit of building, or they don't know which avenue to go down. So I wanted to speak about a little saying that I say to clients, and that is, if you're scared of putting on body fat, you're not ready for a build phase. Yeah. And this comes from, if you want to build muscle, add on lean muscle, but you also need to drop body fat, you're almost always going to be better off dropping body fat first before you go into a gaining phase. In order to put on lean muscle and prioritize lean muscle in a gaining phase, you have to be in a calorie surplus to put on a significant amount of muscle. You can't lose body fat when you're in a calorie surplus. You can lose body fat at maintenance or in a calorie deficit. When you're at maintenance, you can do both. You can go through a body recomposition, but I'm talking about just prioritizing muscle gain. Yeah. So most people are going to maintain the level of body fat that they have right now, or they might even put on a little bit of body fat. So when I say that to clients, and I'm like, are you happy with the amount of body fat that you have right now? If yes, sure, let's go into a gaining phase. If no, let's go into a deficit, prioritize getting the fat off first, still whilst maintaining muscle mass. You might be able to add on a little bit of lean muscle. And then only when you're happy with the level of leanness, then you can go into a gaining phase.
And specifically at the start, right? If someone signs up to you, let's say this year, and they go into a calorie deficit, right at the start, your body's going to gain a bit of muscle mass, more so than when you're a bit more down the track, right?
For sure. Newbie gains.
Newbie gains, exactly right. But you always, obviously, with anything, you probably get to a stage, you plateau with a calorie deficit, a maintenance, and a surplus, because your body adapts, your metabolism adapts, and all those types of things. So it's always about the reevaluating. I think a way that you approach it is that you're never going to know someone's true maintenance or whatever it is without trying, without giving it a crack. You're like, I think with me or maybe with another client, you're like, okay, let's set you at 2,000 calories, for example, and we just need to see what happens. The first 2 weeks, I want you to weigh yourself maybe 3 times a week, a bit more frequently, just to see how it goes day to day. And I want, photos today, photos in 2 weeks. Not much will change. Minor things that you'll be able to spot. Maybe not the person because you're looking at yourself. And then, maybe more frequent photos and stuff like that just to see what's going on.
For an example, like I've had some clients, I won't name any names, but female client, 50 kilos, did her total daily energy expenditure, came out around about 2,000 calories for her maintenance.
Wow.
Right. Now that was actually significantly undershot. We got her up to eating 2,800 calories as her maintenance calories.
Awesome. She ran like 42 kilometers a day or something.
Not even.
Wow.
Not even a sedentary job.
Hectic.
Yeah. So this is why like the calculators that you use to adjust your calories, they're not always going to be 100% accurate.
No.
They're always going to be an estimate. So that's why we do have to calculate the predicted maintenance off of the information that we have. But sometimes you just have some genetic freaks that just require more calories.
Yeah.
And then contrary to that, I've had clients that have to eat significantly less based off of the stats given.
Yeah.
Because their weight just won't move despite them being 110% compliant. So there's definitely some outliers that you need to be careful of. And this is why we get back the biofeedback that we do with fasted weight and photos on a regular basis so that we can see what the weight trends are doing.
Yeah. Would you say that, for instance, that female client that you had, would it only be metabolism that affects that, or are there other factors that you know of that would affect someone's, total daily energy expenditure?
Yeah, there's a few things that can affect it. Number one can be the client underestimating their output and what they do at work. Like, even if they do work a sedentary job, but they fidget all the time and they get up and they go make a coffee, they come back, they go to the bathroom, they go to someone's desk, hey, how you doing? They walk back, they on the phone, they're walking around the office. You go like, okay, like, you work at a desk job, but you actually still crank 10,000 steps around the office. So there's one thing. Metabolism can be another one, can be just genetic. They could be, a genetic freak in that aspect. And it also can come down to training intensity as well. So this individual client, super strong, crazy strong.
Righto.
Trains really hard, burns a lot of calories during the session.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I have a mate who has been skinny lad his whole life, and he eats more than me for sure. And just doesn't go anywhere. He works out a little bit at home, and we're just all of me and my mates are just like unreal metabolism on this guy. He's pretty active. He's works at a school as an educator, and I think I was going to say before, it's teachers. Like, teachers underestimate how
Big
much they move around.
PE teacher, you are cranking the steps.
Big time. And even like a classroom teacher, especially, if you're teaching younger kids, primary school teachers probably have to move around a bit because they're not paying attention. They get enough out of their seats. You're having to do all that type of stuff. And you've got yard duty and you've got to go to a meeting. You've got to go in between classrooms. You might be sitting down. You might feel like you're sitting down for the majority of the day, but you really underestimate it because you just sort of categorize yourself as a sedentary worker.
So in this scenario, your mate who is a teacher, you would say he's probably one of the outliers where he would benefit going into a build phase first before going into a cutting phase.
Big time.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And
even a new female client that I'm onboarding is in a similar position for this month. She typically says she eats well and all that type of stuff, goes away on holidays, eats well, all that type of stuff, and struggles to, come back, get into that routine and keep the weight on, which, like we've said, a lot of people who typically, like myself, need to cut weight and put on fat quite easily and stuff like that, like, oh, what a nice life that must be, but it must be so annoying.
Yeah.
Because it can be difficult. Like, if you're not used to eating a lot of food and you find it difficult to eat a lot of food, it's the same as you finding it difficult not to eat food. It's just the total opposite.
Yep.
And trying to eat a lot of food when you get to that stage can be really tough.
Yeah, it can
really
be sickening.
hard. Yeah.
I remember back when I first started getting into like bodybuilding and I went to Massive Joe's, shout out, and I got a Max's supersized protein.
Dude, they taste pretty good though.
Yeah, they're good, but I used to like do, I think it was 4 scoops plus full cream milk, and it was like over 1,000 calories, and I would gag at the taste of it. Like it would just, not because it didn't taste good, but because I was so full, I just could not physically eat anymore. So that I opted for liquid calories.
Yeah.
I had to. I just couldn't eat anything. I couldn't chew anything more. So that can be like really difficult, and it takes away the enjoyment of food.
Yeah.
Because you're always 100%. Full. You just don't want to eat. You're like, oh, I don't really want to go out and eat any food or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up liquid calories. That's such a great talking point. That is such a good tool. Don't use liquid calories if you're in a deficit. Liquid calories when you're in a surplus, you can find great videos on Insta, TikTok, whatever you've got, on people making smoothies that are easily over 1,000 calories, have 60 to 70 to 80 grams of protein at one time.
Yep. I crank one in the morning. I've got a little it's not a NutriBullet, but it's a portable one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I put in full cream milk, 2 wheat Bix, protein powder, peanut butter, and blueberries. And I make that in the morning when I get up, and I turn it on in the car. So hopefully it never explodes, because that would just be hectic. But then I turn it on in the car. It doesn't need batteries because it charges.
Yeah.
And then I drink it on the way to work. And by the time I get to work, I've chowed down like 850 calories.
Yeah, that's so good.
Great. And then I'm not hungry until, I get to lunchtime, which ties me over because, I start at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I need something in my stomach. Otherwise, I'm going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. I know where you're going. There's another, for another example, let's say someone who is not as educated who wants to go into a bit of a cut. They've been skipping breakfast for forever, right? And I think something valuable that you taught me is that not everyone wants to have breakfast. Not everyone wants to eat at 7 a.m., 8 a.m.
Yep.
We just want them to get in the desired amount of calories before they go to bed.
Yep.
Right? At any point in the day.
That's it. Yep.
And that's like such a great point that I've taken on board with my clients and stuff, is that, breakfast doesn't have to be breakfast, lunch doesn't have to be lunch, dinner doesn't have to be dinner. You can have those things at whatever time. Have breakfast at 10:30 if you want to. You know what I mean? Have lunch at 3:45. Whatever works for you.
Yep.
Have your snack whenever you want to have your snack. But something that, we still want, I feel like we still want people to have some sort of a timing, some sort of a routine with their nutrition. And something that I've, I guess, given advice to one of my friends who's doing that at the moment, who's looking to lose weight. You skip breakfast, you get hungrier later in the day, you're snacking like a madman and stacking the calories back on anyway. That is when we can utilize maybe some liquid calories, maybe a smoothie.
Yeah.
Because they're not that hungry in the morning just because of the habit.
Yep.
Just because of the habit of not eating, they're not hungry. And I'm like, try get a smoothie in. It's literally breakfast blended up. Yeah, so you can absolutely, in that circumstance, you can utilize liquid calories just to get yourself into the habit of having a breakfast. And I feel like eventually that was something that I started out with, and I eventually wanted food. I wanted chewable food because chewing food as well has that psychological effect on your brain where it makes you, it makes you feel like, oh yeah, I'm way more full now, even though you're having the same nutrition. It'll have that psychological effect on you. But yeah, a long enough amount of time where you're having those smoothies or you're having liquid calories for breakfast, you'll start to get hungry. That routine will start to hit with your brain, with your day-to-day life. You'll start to want proper, chewable foods.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool.
How many steps do you hit per day, mate?
My goal currently is 10K steps per day.
Yep.
I have gone as high as 12.
Yep.
But I thought coming into the new year, we lower the barrier again so that's achievable, and I'll work my way back up.
Did we start at 10K?
No, we didn't.
We worked our way up.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 10K is looked at as this golden number with rainbows and fairies all around it. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's the number that everyone tries to hit.
Yeah.
And it could be okay number for the vast majority, but the reality is it could be significantly higher or it could be significantly lower than what you should be hitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we look at someone who works a sedentary job and they naturally get maybe 2,000 steps throughout the day, and they work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.,
Yeah.
got kids, they can only train for 30 minutes, and they've got all these other responsibilities. 10,000 steps is going to be very hard for that individual to achieve. So what we like to do is slowly increase in small increments. So if they're hitting 2,000 throughout the day naturally, start them on 4,000.
Yeah.
You've just doubled their output through steps and doubled their calorie expenditure through steps as well.
Yeah.
It's a huge increase. Once they get comfortable hitting the 4,000 steps, then bump them up to 5, 6.
Yeah.
You might be able to work your way up to 10,000 potentially, but it's going to be less of a shock to the system,
Yeah.
slowly increasing it over a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, and 10K steps is just like, that's huge. It's so much walking.
Yeah.
Like I live, maybe a couple of Ks out of the city. I walk from home into the famous Rundle Mall or whatever it might be and back, and I still haven't hit 10K. I've done like 7,000 steps, and that's when you really realize when you go for a planned walk.
Yep.
And you're like, far out. I've been walking for an hour, and I still have 5,000 steps left. Mm-hmm. You're just like, holy shit, 10K is a lot. That's kilometers of walking.
Yeah.
And think about running 10K. People are like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, try walk that every single day.
Yeah.
If you've got a life like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very difficult. So start low, increase up. Contrary to that, if you are someone who works a very labor-intensive job and your goal is to hit 10,000 steps, and on average you hit 15,000 steps, obviously the 10K goal is a bit obsolete.
Yeah.
If you're already crunching 15,000 steps organically, you probably don't need a step goal.
No.
You can probably just go about your day and manipulate your calories through through your meals, through a calorie deficit or a surplus, whatever you're wanting to achieve. If you are going through like a building phase, and you're still crunching 15,000 steps, you're going to have to eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A shit ton of food.
And if you're in a cutting phase, you hit 15,000 steps, you get to eat a lot of food still. So it's great. But something to look out for if you are hitting a lot of steps per day is maintaining that, because what happens when you're in a cutting phase is your metabolism down-regulates, your body's very smart, and then you go from hitting 15,000 steps to hitting 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're not in a calorie deficit anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say, there are things that you can vary for someone who just can't get to enough steps in a day for the amount of calories they're eating? Is calories the only thing you can adjust to assist that person? Can you add like cardio to their workout sessions?
Yeah, for sure.
Anything like that?
Yeah, there's many different ways that you can increase a calorie deficit, and expenditure is a big one without manipulating food. So, steps for one, that's always going to be number one priority, but then also cardio as well.
Yeah, and I guess, especially if someone's in a deficit, you do want to try and stay away from hunger-inducing exercise, like running, cycling, anything like that that's above that hunger neutral thing that walking is, unless you're walking at 10 kilometers per hour where you're just jogging at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good. Obviously, there's other ways that you can account for not being able to do the magical number of 10,000 steps.
Yep.
But once you get to that point where you are hitting 10K steps a day, you realize it's difficult. It's not easy. So make it sustainable. We spoke about that in episode 16, making things sustainable, being able to tick them off and not going days without being able to tick a goal off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, mate.
So
Well, thanks for tuning in for what was episode 17, guys. Don't forget to rate the show on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we hope to see you on the next episode.
Bye.
See ya.